Alright, what's up guys? Easter Sunday video. Happy Easter to anyone who celebrates Easter. Jesus has arisen. Big guy in the sky. I like him. He's my friend. But yeah, so this video is going to be talking about Dauntless. This is actually my third take on this video because I do all of these unscripted. I don't bother with making a script anymore. I just don't have that kind of time. But I do have stuff that I want to talk about. Originally, I was trying to talk about how video games tend to be making decisions where they like reset their game, thinking it's going to be like, oh yeah, it's going to make the game better, but when they reset their games, they end up like making all of the time their experienced players have played the game completely pointless, and then a lot of them leave because they kind of just spit in their face and said, hey, all this time you put in our game, we're gonna make it mean nothing, please stay, hope you enjoy. Like, I was gonna try and make it about that, but really the only two I can think of right now are Dauntless and Destiny 2 that did that, and I haven't played enough Destiny 2 to really care about that, though that was an extremely bold decision that they did. They took out a lot of content that a lot of people liked, but they felt that no one was playing that content, or like people thought it was too old or whatever. I don't know. This one's not about Destiny 2. This one's going to be about Dauntless. And kind of their new system and stuff like that. Their new system is really good. It's really great. It looks cool, and it's way better than the mastery system that Dauntless used to have. If it had originally been released this way, but it wasn't. They released this and Dauntless Reforged like a couple months ago. No, not a year ago, but a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago. And when they did that, they made, this is kind of what I was originally talking about, but they made all the time that I had spent playing that game, the grinding for materials to upgrade my equipment, they actually made all of that pointless. It means nothing. Even today, like, I re-downloaded Dauntless and I started playing it again, but like, they made all the time I spent playing Dauntless upgrading, especially my armor, which can take a lot, and all the weapons, it took a lot of grinding to upgrade all of your gear, and they made all of that pointless, because now weapons upgrade based on level, which is just how much you use it, right? Your weapon now gains damage based on what level it is. You gain levels by using it. Okay, so I don't actually have to spend any materials to upgrade it other than the power surge it, which you only have to do once. So now it's a lot cheaper to upgrade things because it's kind of free. So cool. But something that I don't like is that my armor, for whatever reason, is linked to my weapon. Why, if I have a level 10 axe, if I have a skill level of 10 with an axe, and I'm wearing an armor set, I'll have 300 protections. But if I simply just switch my axe out for a sword and have a level 1 sword skill, why then do I, instead of having 300 protections, because I'm wearing the same armor, I now have 70 or 100 protections, whatever it is. Like why do I take more damage just because I'm using a sword that has a lower, or a weapon class that has a lower level than another weapon class? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. But because they did it that way, now, like, all the grinding for the gear that I did over the span of 2 years means nothing. It means nothing. On top of this, leveling up the sword, or not sword, leveling up weapon skills in general doesn't feel very rewarding at all. Like, at all. You level it up to level 20, it's maxed, then you reset it, and you have to do that multiple times to unlock the next node that will then upgrade your weapon specifically of that class, or give every weapon a generic like upgrade, like 5% extra damage or more stagger damage or this and that, like part damage, more part damage or something. But all of those specific damages will belong to a weapon skill tree line. You have to upgrade that weapon skill or level it up by using that weapon. Then you max it out, reset it, and then have to do it again just to unlock the next node that will then give your axe more stagger damage. Like, it's kind of okay of a system had it originally been released this way. It's not something to super complain about had it originally been released this way. But they gave us this new system, and I don't like my rewards for grinding out a weapon. It doesn't feel rewarding enough, and if the damage, all you get really is more damage and more protections for leveling up a weapon skill. That's it. Like, how good I am with an axe doesn't really mean anything if my axe is level 1. I don't like that. Like, or it doesn't like play into effect as to what I can do with my axe. Like, here's the problem I have with it. It individually skills each weapon, right? If I have my axe at level 20 and I have my sword at level 1, if I have my axe at level 20 and my sword at level 1, like, my axe will do a lot more damage than my sword. And that's like, okay, I guess. The issue, though, is that, like, my sword skill, my skill with the sword, even mechanically through a video game, should not dictate how much damage that sword does. And that was the difference between the old system and the new system. The old system was extremely grindy, you had to get a lot of materials, and the mastery system wasn't that interesting. It felt more like, hey, do this thing and we'll check it off for you. Like, it was like achievements, right? Versus the new mastery system, which is like skill level of your weapon. But like, why should my sword deal damage based on whether it's skill level 1 or skill level 20? Because you would think that if I get good enough with a sword, my character using the sword and gaining skill levels, that I would then unlock something for the sword. And all you really unlock through the mastery system is like an extra damage perk. Like, yeah, you now do 5% more damage with swords. Or like, swords now do 5% more part damage. Swords now have +5 flat stagger damage. Like, stuff like that. That's what you get for not just leveling it up, right? You level it up, max it out to level 20, and then you have to reset it. And resetting it a certain number of times will then allow you to unlock the next node of that weapon skill tree in the mastery tree. So like, you might, in order to get that 5% more part damage on the sword, you might have to level up and reset your sword skill like 5 times just to get that. That's a lot and very unrewarding. Whereas how it should be, what would be interesting, is if I had to upgrade each individual sword like before. I could have a level 1 sword or a level 20, or it went up to 15, a level 15 sword. So this sword will do more damage than this sword because I care about this sword and I use this sword. I like this sword. I don't care about this sword, so I'm not going to level this sword up. This sword's not going to deal any damage because I don't give a shit about it. This other sword that I do like, that I have at max level, right? Now what dictates the damage I actually do on this? It has a damage number on it. But how effective I am is my actual skill as a player using that weapon, right? And like, I'm losing my train of thought. Having the skill to actually do that weapon or use that weapon well, correctly, you know. My phone's getting a notification, but that's what should be determining how effective I am with the sword. Actually, how good I am at using the sword on my keyboard or controller, whatever I'm using. And it doesn't work that way. Yes, it still has, like, obviously any game, depending how mechanically good you are at it, will depend how effective you are in the game. That's a mechanic of games. Like, that's how that works. But in a way, they just kind of take that out almost, because your skill level on a sword can be 20, and every single sword now does the same amount of damage. But like, that just doesn't make sense. You're upgrading your swords for free, like your material. It requires no material to upgrade your sword. Doesn't make sense to me. Like, it just doesn't seem like a logical system. It's a cool-ish system, but it's not logical. Your armor is linked to the skill level of your weapon. Why? Why? That shouldn't be a thing. I should be able to switch between a level 20 axe and a level 1 sword and still have the same number of protections. That's how it used to be. That makes sense. I don't care what, like, I'm not saying it should be like that because I played when it was like that. I'm saying it should be like that because that's what makes sense. Like, if you're playing Minecraft and you have a wooden sword, your diamond armor doesn't give you less protections just because you're using a wooden sword. Like, it makes no sense. But yeah, what I'd like to see Dauntless do is kind of mesh the new system in with how the old system worked. We should be leveling up our weapons individually, and what our skill levels should be unlocking is maybe like the next combo. Just a thought, you know, because if you're gonna if you're going to give weapons individual skill levels, okay, don't lock dealing more damage behind those skill levels, and that's it, right? Instead, you know, how about, oh, I use the sword a lot, I am causing my character in game to gain skill levels with the sword, so once you get your sword skill level to 5 and 10 and 15 and in mastery, you can unlock just naturally, not even through the mastery node, but naturally, like, your sword skill level is this high, so you have this combo, this combo, this combo, and this special. And then, now, the only reason that could be a problem is because it would then feel really dumb to reset your sword skill level, and you would lose those combos. So you'd have to figure something out there, because that would not be something I put into the game. I like the idea of leveling up my sword so then I unlock new combos for it, you know, like my character's actually learning the sword, and it's like, hey, I have a higher skill in the sword than you, so my sword doesn't just deal more damage because I use it more. I'm better with the sword than you because I have access to things you don't, because I've used the sword more. My character has learned the sword more than yours has. I'm a sword master, you are not. So I can do things on the sword that you cannot, right? Like, that makes sense. But just saying, like, yeah, from levels 1 to 20, you just gain damage and defenses, and then you reset that, and you have to do it all again just so that you can unlock 5% increased damage somewhere down the line after you do that 7 times. Dauntless, I'd like your game to work logically to an extent, because I don't need to hear in the comments like, you bring up logic but you're fighting big behemoths with axe or whatever, and like whatever melee weapon, I'm doing like 2k damage and Obviously, there's not a lot of logic in video games, but there's also logic that should be in video games. And having your armor and defenses depend on what level a weapon is should not be in a video game. It should not, unless part of that weapon's skill tree is unlocking a perk that then gives armor like bonuses. But that's not the case here. That's not the case. So please don't link my armor rating with what weapon I'm using, because that's not fun. That sucks. The most fun I've had since the update came out actually was when it first came out and I tried it out. They've locked it since then. I find it kind of smart, but like the game was genuinely hard and like really kicking my butt. I had to play smart and resourceful and actually use my pods to kill stuff, because at skill level 1 I was going into the Twilight Sanctuary and fighting Big Dark Bird Boy. Like, I don't even remember his name, but yeah, like I was getting my butt whooped, but it was fun because there was a ton of players trying to kill this one bird. We're all going down, we had to revive each other, like all this stuff, and it was crazy. And the music was actually intense because then Twitch was getting the copyright claim stuff, so we couldn't play music, and I had to actually use in-game music, and it was like Dark Souls sounding, and it was good and fun, minus the part where like absolutely just getting destroyed. So I was like, you know, maybe I should grind up a little bit and then come back so I can actually manage to kill it. But yeah, that's my take on it, bro. That's gonna be it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below a thing, because I can't think of anything for you to let me know. So let me know a fun fact, your favorite fun fact or favorite joke, in the comment below. Please like the video, subscribe. I'm on Twitch at Chief Gore, and I will see you guys next time.